Hey, what's up, everyone? Now, I know Bragging Rights was 2 nights ago on Sunday night, and I didn't get to see it live on pay-per-view. As I've mentioned before, the reason I didn't watch it live on pay-per-view is because financially right now I can't afford it. If there's any wrestling pay-per-view I do order, it's WrestleMania. Because WrestleMania isn't, basically as they say, it's the Super Bowl of professional wrestling. So that's the only one I ever order. But anyway, getting to bragging rights. I did see the pay-per-view, but I didn't see it on its replay. No, I saw it the way a lot of people have been seeing it, due to these economic times, if you will. I went onto a wrestling site. I'm not going to say what that wrestling site's name is because I don't want to get them in trouble. But I went on this site and I downloaded, even though it's in 2 parts, bragging rights. Excuse me there. And I enjoyed it, and I watched it, and I have to say it was pretty good. It was actually a very decent pay-per-view, especially for a new pay-per-view. Sometimes the new pay-per-views come off bad, and sometimes they come up good, and, some people say, oh, well, they shouldn't, have made that pay-per-view, they shouldn't have renamed it, they shouldn't have gotten rid of the gimmicks, or things that made it good, the former pay-per-view that it was good. But anyway, I saw the pay-per-view, like I said, when I downloaded it, and I got it right here on this disc. It's right there, if you can see at the bottom. It says bragging rights. And like I said, I saw it in the first match. Let's get into the first match. The first match was pretty good. I mean, back and forth between Miz and Morrison. And Miz, he did win. And I guess in a way they want to try to probably push Miz into a main event real soon. I'm not really sure. But Miz did win the match, so Miz got the win for Raw. This match was the opening match, but it was also the first of 3 bragging rights matches. Inter-promotional matches, if you will, inter-brand. The second match of the night was the Divas match. You had Beth Phoenix, you had Michelle McCool, and you had Natalya facing the Raw Divas of Melina, Kelly, and Gail Kim. And I have to say, this was a pretty decent Divas match. SmackDown wins the match with Beth Phoenix hitting the Glam Slam, I think, on Kelly. And I guess they want to push Beth Phoenix back into that dominant role she once had on Raw when the Women's Championship was there. And now it's on SmackDown, so they want to push her back in that dominant role. So yeah, the SmackDown Divas win, and we're tied up. The next match of the night was this Fatal 4-Way for the World Heavyweight Championship. It was actually a good Fatal 4-Way. I mean, there were times you thought Batista was going to win, and Ray was going to win, even Punk was going to win. But in the end, The Undertaker, he ends up winning the match, and by tombstoning Batista to retain the title. And then afterwards, Josh Matthews interviews Ray, to see how Ray feels about it. And, Ray's trying to say, hey, we did our best, I did my best, Batista did our best, he did the best. And Batista comes in. I guess they're trying to make Batista some kind of a heelish baby face or something. I'm not really sure. Or someone that's just so frustrated with what's been going on. But I don't think the heel turn that they started Batista on at bragging rights when he attacked Ray is going to last. I think, if anything, it's only going to probably last the rest of the year, and Batista's going to go babyface again. I've got that feeling. I mean, he's the kind of guy that can't become a full-fledged heel for a long time. But yeah, Undertaker retains the World Heavyweight Championship. And then the next match we have is the bragging rights finale, Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. Raw represented by DX, Kofi Kingston, Big Show, Jack Swagger. It's DX, Kofi Kingston, Jack Swagger, Big Show, Cody Rhodes, and Mark Henry. And they took on the SmackDown team of Jericho, Kane, R-Truth, Matt Hardy, Finlay, and the Hart Dynasty. This was a pretty good, and this was actually a pretty good 7-on-7 match. I mean, you know, normally they're not really that good, and I think, you know, WWE did the right thing when they replaced the original SmackDown team with the one that was there. And it really showed that they made a good judgment call there. You know, it was a good match, but you know, towards the end, you know, just when you think Raw is going to win, you know, Big Show ends up turning on Raw and choke slamming Kofi Kingston, enabling Chris Jericho to get the win for SmackDown. And we find out, you know, on Raw that Big Show did it because he cut a deal that he would get a world title shot against The Undertaker if he helped SmackDown win. So, yeah, SmackDown wins the match. And then we had the 1-hour Iron Man match. John Cena, Randy Orton. Back, anything goes, balls can't anywhere. Oh, man. You know, it's a pretty damn good thing that they made this an anything goes match. Because if you would have heard the reaction for both superstars when they entered that ring, it wasn't a very positive reaction. Yeah, John Cena usually gets the mixed reaction that he sometimes gets in certain areas. But if you've noticed lately, John Cena, every time he competes in a Pennsylvania city, either it's Pittsburgh or Philadelphia, he ends up getting booed. So, it was a good thing they did this because it really satisfied the fans because it gave them what they were used to in the Pennsylvania areas, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, hardcore wrestling. That's what it was. It was basically hardcore wrestling. And to me, it was hints of WWE probably going back to its TV-14 rating real soon. Can't really say. But it was a great back-and-forth match. I mean, you didn't know what was going to happen next. The blood was unexpected. You know, they had to glue him up. The announcers even said John Cena had to be glued up because of that. But just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you know, fall after fall. I mean, through the staging area, the pyro. I mean, the crowd, tables, you name it. It was just unbelievable. But in the end, John Cena does win with about 4 seconds left in the match, causing Randy Orton to tap out to the STF. And John Cena is once again the WWE Champion. Overall, I have to say Bragging Rights was a good inaugural pay-per-view, for a new pay-per-view, that is. And, you know, I'm hoping that next year they add ECW to it, because I was thinking they would add ECW this year at the last minute to throw both SmackDown and Raw, you know, its edges. But, you know, next year they probably will do it. And so, yeah, I have to say that this was a pretty good pay-per-view. I give it 8.5 out of 10. And if you got any comments on it, want a video response to me, just let me know, and I'll talk to you all later. And sorry if I'm a little tired, it's late in the evening.